Courtship is everything that comes before penetration. Everything. That's from the time you see her walk into that party a long time ago. When you talk to her, then you went on a first date, second date, third date, went over to her place, came over to your place, had great sex, ended up seeing each other a couple times a week, and now you're in a relationship. Everything that came before penetration was courtship. Everything that came after penetration is phase 2, also known as a relationship. Okay. Many of the things that are common with courtship are common with the first date, because during the first date, you're still in phase 1 because you haven't penetrated her yet. Let's take Nick's checklist and let it crawl up the side of the screen here. And you can see many of the things you need to remember to court a girl. So watch the crawl. And I'm also going to be talking about courtship while that's going on. The first paragraph heading in here under court her, here's the book. The first thing you see down here is a heading that says aggressive males. Okay, what does that tell you? Where we're going from there. That's the first heading. Let me read it. Females of all species except one refuse to mate with non-aggressive males. The exception is Homo sapiens. Luckily, the aberration is limited to neurotic ballbusters past 30. Well, that's where they are. You will get nowhere with a young woman if you are not aggressive. They have not lived long enough to become crazy enough to seek a passive male over 30. They have only limited courting experience and no knowledge of when or how to be the aggressor or even how to be an equal. You're too old to marry her, now what? Young women are wanted by every male on the planet from 13 to 75, 85. Every male wants one of those young, beautiful, fertile girls. So how do you get her to give you what everybody else wants? That's what courtship is. I say part 1 is she must think having the affair is her idea. Part 2, she must have the fantasy of a romance with you before she will begin the affair. She has to think it's her idea, and then she has to have a fantasy that this is going to be romantic. It isn't going to just be fucking, it's going to be romantic. Okay. I'm laughing because this is just so true. This is true with every girl I ever made it with, all right? I mean the ones that stuck around for a while. She must think having the affair is her idea, and she must have the fantasy of it's going to be romantic. To make that happen, all you have to do is get the fuck out of your own way and let it happen. Let it happen. Don't make it happen, let it happen. That's a touchstone of the Steel Balls program. One of the hardest things to do is to resist the urge to take charge and take control. Don't do it. Just let the events go where they go. Let me expand on let it happen. It's not necessary to lie, cheat, or manipulate. In her head and heart, she knows the realistic chance of a lifelong romance with you doesn't exist. When she's ready to have an affair, she creates the fantasy possibility so she can rationalize and proceed. As you read from here to the end of the book, see how everything is designed to just let it happen, don't make it happen. A mini scenario of courtship. You approach her in act of aggression. She smiles in act of reassurance. You smile back in act of reassurance from you. You say or do something aggressive. In response, she says or does something that's submissive, aggressive, or reassuring, hitting the ball back over the net into your court. If she's aggressive, that may be a test of your courage. Then again, she may want you to fuck off. Demonstrate you won't hurt or embarrass her by being briefly submissive, a smile, a bit of boyish awkwardness, and then continue with a bit of aggressiveness, verbally or move slightly closer. If she's submissive, don't respond with aggression. It's been established, at least for the moment, you're the dominant one. Reassure her you intend no harm by being briefly submissive as explained, a smile, and a bit of boyish awkwardness. If she reassured you, reassure her. That's smiling and making nice. If she's reluctant, you need to be more aggressive. How much? Depends. Usually she's a bit frightened and needs to be reassured you intend no harm. Just like above, show her you won't hurt or embarrass her by being briefly submissive, a smile, and boyish awkwardness. Then be aggressive again. Reluctance, resistance, and tests. If you take any of their shit, young women don't want any part of you. They see it as a sign of weakness and an indication they already have you by your balls, just like they do their boyfriend. She wants to know, is this guy a real man or what? Why? Because she wants what a man can do to her that boys can't. She has to convince herself you're worth taking a risk. Think about that. She's busy convincing herself you're worth taking a risk for. You got to show you're worth taking a risk for. Be discreet. Show her how discreet you are during all phases. Nobody's going to know about this but you and me unless you want them to know. Without saying that. You must pass her entrance exams. These begin when she pretends to not be interested. She's testing your sincerity. If you persist mildly, she's convinced. But in the same conversation or the next, she rejects you. She ignores you. She's just testing. How are you going to handle this? If you get angry, she knows she's got you. You fail if you act like a hurt little boy. Oh, why didn't you talk to me? She's not interested after that. It's necessary to show interest, but not too much. You have to maintain an aura of moderate interest, but be somewhat aloof. Otherwise, she'll get around to you when she's done with everybody else. Okay? You can't be going in there, I'm yours, baby, let's go. No. If she rejects you strongly, it's a way of her avoiding a situation you can't control, or you came on too strong, or you didn't notice all the body language signals she was sending. Let it happen, don't make it happen. All the way to a weekend in Las Vegas. Just let it happen. You don't have to make it happen, it will happen. Okay. You have to be patient during courtship. I'm not by nature a very patient person, but I sure found out that with young women, you better be patient because they have all the time in the world. They have the choice of the whole world of men to choose from. You're the one that's in a hurry. She's got time and plenty of it. So take your time. Let it happen. Don't make it happen. Don't pressure. Patience prevents rapo. Rapo is a game played by people who don't want to be sexually intimate with you. They might want to be sexually intimate with somebody else, but they don't want to be sexually intimate with you, but they want everybody in the room to know that they're good little girls. So they play a game called Rapo, R-A-P-O. Sounds like R-A-P-E-O. Made famous by a book called Games People Play. Can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, it's still around because it made a lot of sense explaining why people do some of the weird things they do. They're playing games. A typical game is you go to a family gathering and the women are all in the kitchen talking about their female operations. All the men are out in the garage with the hood open looking at a car. What they're doing is avoiding any friction. They're talking about nice, safe subjects. They're getting their gregarious needs met by being in groups and talking, but they're not talking about anything that would hurt anybody's feelings, cause anybody to be angry with them, or make anybody feel close to them. They're very neutral. They're avoiding intimacy. Intimacy is when you know how the other person feels and you let it show. That's intimate, not sexually intimate. Intimate, you're a friend and I'm on your wavelength, I get you. So that's what games are for. So the game of Rapo is played by a girl or even a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old. Some women they never quit. So what does she want? The payoff she wants is everybody in the room to know that she's attractive to you. Well, first she has a short skirt on, some cleavage, and she talks very sensually with you, and she gives you lots of green lights. And they're just flowing, right? So you make your move. Say, let's go to get a drink somewhere. Oh, what kind of a girl do you think I am? I'm not like that. What would give you that idea? She wants everybody to hear that side of the conversation and see you go away. Okay. That's rapo. Younger women do it so that that boy over in the corner that's the quarterback, that they really have their eye on, they rapo you so he knows she would never fuck an older man. Watch out for rapos. They reveal themselves because they're very smooth. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.